Forward to that first game here.
Excitement from the fans and being able to see the community out there tailgating is the biggest thing I'm looking forward to.
I don't know what to expect. I mean, I've been in some exciting games, but for a fan base that's been waiting for this long, I can only imagine just the ovation and the excitement when the team busts out of that tunnel onto the field for the first time.
I'm sure it'll be a sellout. I'm sure everyone will be there celebrating the REDBLACKS return to Ottawa.
Welcome to Wendy's Friday Night Football on TSN. Tonight, Argonauts, REDBLACKS. Come on in.
Smiling Hank, the ageless one, now 39. He's the player the REDBLACKS have hitched their franchise to and said, lead us to the promised land. Well, they're 0-2. Let's see if Hank can lead this new franchise to their first victory.
You're looking at Siobhan Chevy Walker, the fastest man in the CFL. Proof in the pudding, a 65-yarder last week against the Eskimos. With all the injuries the Argos got, they still got this guy, Ricky Ray. He leads the CFL in all major passing categories. He's going to be on his game tonight.
But Coach Ricky Ray is missing, as you alluded to, 3 of his top 4 receivers. Look for John Childs to have a bigger role in this night, which is opening night in Ottawa on Wendy's Friday Night Football here on TSN. A lot of excitement in the nation's capital here, too. Welcome to Friday Night Football. Rod Smith along with Milt Stegall, Matt Dunnigan, and Paul LaPolice. Later on tonight, in part 2 of our doubleheader, we will have Hamilton taking on the Stampeders in Calgary. But first up, the most anticipated football game in Ottawa in many, many years. Let's head to TD Place now. All-new stadium for the all-new team, and a guy that certainly knows a lot about the history of Ottawa football, James Duthie, there to set up the home debut for the new Ottawa REDBLACKS. James?
Thank you, Rod. Yeah, it's a little strange. Grew up here 20 years as season ticket holder up there in Section G. Brand new stadium now, brand new ownership, and a belief finally that this time they may have got it right. There have really been 2 great acts in the history of football in this city. The glory years of the 50s and 60s when Russ Jackson led the Riders to a bunch of Grey Cups. And that went all the way through to Clements to Gabriel in 1976. Tony Gabriel just introduced moments ago. And then, of course, there were the dark days through the 80s and the 90s. Not a single winning season, and a cast of sitcom-like owners from the U.S. who ran 2 franchises into the ground. And now we get set for act number 3. And with me, a couple of guys who are key parts of both those acts. Russ Jackson, CFL Hall of Famer, 3 Grey Cups with the Ottawa Rough Riders. Jock Climby was one of the bright spots in the darker days near the end. What does this night mean to this city and to this league?
Well, these are the good days, you can tell by the noise, but this is great. Just for the city, it's been a long time coming. People have been waiting for it. They're dedicated football fans. I've seen many fans that talk about when I was playing here in the 60s, that's a long time ago, and yet they're back here for this football franchise. So it is great for the fans, great for the city, and great for the CFL.
Well, as a guy who represents Act 2, I can tell you I'm happy to see this city get a chance to have a whole new fresh start, because you're absolutely right, James. It was dark days for most of the 80s and 90s. Lots of turnover, not a lot of wins, but still a hardcore group of football fans in the city that we always believed existed. And yes, everywhere we went, they always talked about Russ Jackson. They always talked about Tony Gabriel. Now we need the new generation of football fans to be talking about Henry Burris and Chevy Walker and some of the stars of today.
The Renegades did not last long. Do you think it is different this time?
Oh, definitely it's different. I always blame the Renegade problem with ownership. I think ownership was the problem, the base problem, not the fans. And I think that now they've got a group of owners. They're Ottawa people, they're Ottawa families, and they're not going to let football fail for a 3rd time in this city.
Can you imagine when the Renegades were here, they did not sell that game out. This game has been sold out for weeks and weeks, and the buzz in this city is so much more different, so much different. When I was starting my career career with TSN. My first broadcast gig was almost just a few feet from where I'm sitting right now in 2002. Yes, people were excited, but there was an air of trepidation. Wherever you went, people would go, yeah, but I'm not sensing that this time. I just feel excitement and energy and a real desire to see this team be successful, this franchise be successful.
Russ, quickly, do they have to win, not just tonight, but this season a little bit?
No, they don't have to win. They have to play good football, respectable football, and competitive. It would be nice if they could win 6 or 7 football games. You got a bunch of guys who haven't played together, haven't practiced together that long, whereas all the other franchises, they've got at least 3/4 of their team that have played together. So they're not going to be a super power, but they're going to be good, and I think the fans will support them.
8 years, 8 months, and 13 days ago, Kerry Joseph and the Ottawa Renegades beat Michael Bishop and the Toronto Argos, the last CFL game in Ottawa. Tonight, it returns. We get you set for the national anthem in front of a sold-out crowd of 24,000. Staff Sergeant Brad Hampson of the Ottawa Police Services.
Des plus brillants exploits, God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for
They waited a long time for this. One more break and football returns to the nation's capital. Red Blacks, Argos, right after this.
Tonight, a football town gets its team back. A city steeped in the heritage of 9 Grey Cups. Red letter days of Jackson and Stewart, Clements and Holloway, Gabriel and Watts, and the black days of Ryder demise and renegade futility. Tonight, a celebration of the past, present, and especially the future of football in the nation's capital. The CFL is back in Ottawa. It's the franchise home opener and inaugural game as the Red Blacks host the Argos at TD Place Stadium. Sold-out crowd, playoff atmosphere, a buzz throughout the national capital region. And they rise to their feet here at TD Place Stadium as a new era in Ottawa football is about to begin. Oldest rivals, the Argos are here to spoil the party. Terrell Sigfield is back, and he takes the opening kickoff from Brent Maher. Getting tackled around the 35-yard line as Ricky Ray and the Argonauts go to work first.
Offensively for the Toronto Argonauts, no Chad Owens, no Andre Dury, no Jason Barnes, but they still have at the helm Ricky Ray. completion percentage at 75.7. Here's a couple of his new targets. One will be Terrell Sinkfield. Guy who looked good in the preseason. Take a look today and see how he plays tonight. And John Childs really the only veteran in that receiving corps for Ricky Ray.
Our starters to watch are brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, where custom advice comes standard. Argos lead the Canadian Football League in yards from scrimmage, and right away they'll swing it out. This is Anthony Coombs, the rookie out of the University of Manitoba, and he has close to 7 on the swing pass from Ricky Ray.
Ottawa Redblacks defensively. Going to look in that middle at Travis Brown. He's been a guy who gets better every single game. 6 tackles and a sack after a couple of games, but he's starting to figure out the CFL. Brandon Lang, keep playing the way he's playing. Just eliminate the penalties a little bit. Javon Johnson's due for one.
2nd and 3. Play action fake. It'll be Coombs again. TJ Hill trying to track him. And Anthony Coombs has a first down to the Ottawa 50. Back-to-back 7-yard pickups for the number 3 pick in the Canadian draft.
Well, Anthony Coombs has got to get used to the fact tonight that he will see the ball a ton. With Chad Owens and his 28 catches after 3 games out of the lineup, Ricky Ray is going to lean on the youngster in a big way. Progressed every game.
Curtis Steele starts at running back. Short drop. Over the middle it goes. And a completion close to the 55-yard line. And there's Darvin Adams with his first catch of the night. Adams had 4 grabs last week in the loss against Calgary. So a lot of new faces for Ricky Ray without 53% of his receiving core in the lineup tonight. Second and 6. Looking to the near side. And Coombs has it again. And Anthony Coombs trying to scramble to the Ottawa 50. And they'll mark him just short of the first down.
Very close. It looks like it's inside of a yard. And a decision for Scott Milenovich.
Andre Prue, the referee, requesting the chains to come out.
Scott Milenovich wants to spoil the party here this evening.
And a guy with a good road record into his 3rd year as the Argo head coach. 11-7 on the road. And that's how close they are to another first down. By the way, Ricky Ray has played Ottawa before and has never lost. 5-0 against the Ottawa Renegades.
Well, Rick Campbell was not, he was not going to be fooled by the fact that 3 of the most important weapons offensively for the Toronto Argonauts are on the shelf due to injury. He said the guy at the helm is pretty good and he'll find a way to get the football. We're not going to get lulled into thinking this is going to be a win that we can just mail in. They're desperate to get their first one. Would love to have it at home.
The message not to allow Ray to play pitch and catch. That high percentage, completion percentage offense. Mitch Gill and the short yardage team in for the Argos. 3rd and short, and the plunge across the 50 should be enough. Although the battle ensues in that pile. There's the strength of that Ottawa defense, that front, including former Argo Jonathan Williams.
Along with Keith Sholigan right beside him, it'll be a first down for the Argos. And you mentioned over 50% of their offense injured with Owens, Dury, and Jason Barnes. You can see the offense generated last year by all those 3 players, and this year 53.2% of the passing game gone. So we'll see if Terrell Sinkfield and Darvin Adams can step up their game.
Leaned on Anthony Coombs so far. And now a toss to Curtis Steele trying to get to the outside. Justin Phillips can't bring him down. And Curtis Steele with an extra shift outside to get close to another Argo first down.
Nice looking move. A little bit of an option there where Ricky Ray has used Anthony Coombs a few times in this series, so he goes to the fake to Coombs up the middle, and that freezes the defensive end for the Red Blacks, allows Steele to get outside. Nice little shake move there to pick up an extra 6-7 yards.
So again, Gale and the short yardage team come on. Second and short, and the plunge by Gale may not be enough. Had to reach the 39. Ray coming back onto the field, anticipating it is a first down, but Andre Proulx wants to survey with the chains one more time.
Had a good conversation with Ricky Ray yesterday about the weapons he's missing offensively, and he said, you know, I may actually need an extra steamboat from my offensive line. He said, you know, part of the issue I have is understanding how these guys are going to make their breaks and run the routes, and that may take a little bit of an extra second in the pocket, so that's where the pressure goes to the O-line.
As we get into week 4, there haven't been many extra steamboats for any quarterbacks so far this season. Might be the year of the defensive lineman the way we're going.
Well, and I had a little bit of a theory on that as well for a little bit later.
Okay. That D-line will dig in now because it third down once again. 8 inches to go to keep the drive alive. And Gale off the right side with flags all over the field.
Often that's the defense trying to anticipate the snap count. So here's my theory.
Okay.
The Ottawa Red Blacks and the expansion draft were part of and was designed to give them a chance to compete out of the gate and to have teams were going to lose a good football player. And it started for the Red Blacks and the offensive line. That's where they...
Offside. Ottawa number 75. That penalty's declined. Too many men on the field. Ottawa, 10-yard penalty. First down.
They got caught with the too many men there, and they tried to substitute. But so Ottawa builds their O-line, and they'll take one starter Canadian basically from every team. What does that do? It sort of dilutes the Canadian talent on the offensive line. Now a backup that maybe wasn't ready moves up and is now a starter. The depth gets a little thinner in the offensive line as well. And all of a sudden the defenses have the advantage out of the gate in the first 3 weeks.
Double tight end formation, first down. Ray going to take a shot into the end zone. And it's busted up. Nice defensive play. The pass intended for John Childs, but there's Jarrell Gavins, who has been an active member of that Red Black secondary in the opening 4 weeks.
Well, he needs the team in tackles, and in the secondary, that's not necessarily what you want, but he has a sack, he has an interception, good knockdown here, and Jarrell Gavins is just getting better every game, understanding the angles, understanding the coverages, what offenses are trying to do. This guy's a keeper. I talked to Javon Johnson about him. He said this guy's going to be an all-star.
10th play of the drive, 2nd and 10. Ray sets up, going to take another shot for Darvin Adams, and he can't make the catch. Brandon Thompson in coverage. Ricky Ray looked like he was on the money.
And the crowd back to their feet. It was right on the money, and the inexperience. Does Chad Owens make this catch? Darvin Adams out of Auburn. Boy, you can't throw it any better, right through both hands, and he took a hit at the end of that play as well.
So Swayze Waters comes on. Registered all 15 Argo points last week. Went 5 for 6. Attempting a 36-yarder. Part of the hold of Trevor Harris. And Waters puts it through. First points at TD Place Stadium. 3-0 Argos. And when we come back, Henry Burris and the Red Blacks offense hit the field for the first time at home. Big thrill to be here for the opening game, TD Place Stadium. Well, they said they could have sold 35,000. This is the first sellout of the year in the Canadian Football League. DJ Harper, Siobhan Walker are back awaiting the Waters kickoff.
Boy, it has been quite a journey. Started in 2007 when the ownership group got together, led by Jeff Hunt. But they have done a fantastic job, and jam-packed house. The stadium looks fantastic, and so does the surrounding areas with all the development being built. It's here to stay this time around.
Waters the boot. Walker the return. Speedy Siobhan Walker up to around the 35-yard line. Brought down by Anthony Woodson.
Well, there's the starter to watch, and he's quickly become the face of this Red Black franchise. In his 189th career start, Henry Burris is at the controls, and Burris told me he watched the BC-Saskatchewan game, felt like they could get the ball to Siobhan Walker while he understands and learns more about his receiving corps, led by Kiera Johnson, who has 9 catches after 2 games.
Pretty candid yesterday about how disappointed he was with his team's performance on offense in Edmonton last week. Handoff inside, and not much there. Tristan Opalago, who has been grading out strongly at defensive end with the tackle for the Argos.
Take a look at the Argos defensively. A couple newcomers. Dwight Anderson in his second game moves from the wide side halfback. He'll move to the short side halfback. That's the hot side, the short corner, short halfback. Take a look at Jalil Carter, who has been the most productive defensive back in their secondary, and Jamie Robinson, who missed the game due to injury.
Red Blacks started with 3 consecutive touchdowns in Winnipeg. Last week, the opposite. 6 straight 2-and-outs. Looking at second and long, and they'll be offside as Marcus Henry was ahead of the snap count.
Argos loaded up, and Henry must have been the adjustment receiver.
Offside. Ottawa number 88. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, they'll call Carlton Mitchell. Looked like a couple of them were ahead of the play.
Yeah, I thought Marcus Henry was as well. And when they saw a blitz, those receivers wanted to present a target quickly and jump the gun.
And there's been a real focus on this receiving corps this week to be better. So second and 13. 4-man rush. Burris throwing to Kiera Johnson. Jalil Carter has moved to the corner and prevents Johnson from getting to a first down.
Well, Jalil Carter played it so well, and the coverage was so tight that Henry Burris had to really throw Johnson open by bringing him back to the football, back inside of the first down marker. Now, some will say, well, Johnson should have pushed up a little deeper. Didn't have time to do that based on the drop of Henry Burris. So timing of the play was for him to come back. Had to because of the tight coverage, and they'll have to punt it away.
Brett Maher, the punter. And Brendan Smith will be the return man. Good boot outside the numbers. Smith trying to find a crease. And TJ Hill brings him down quickly. Late flag after a 57-yard boot by the Nebraska product, Brett Maher. 6 on the return. Good punt, and the penalty going against Toronto.
During the run back, illegal block in the back. Toronto number 21. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Anthony Woodson, the culprit. And so the Argos are backed up when Scott Milanovich's offense goes back to work here at TD Place Stadium in the nation's capital. Putting Canadian youth back on the field with financial support for high schools across the country, including Downsville and Newtonbrook in Toronto, and St. Patrick's in Ottawa. Big hit on the quarterback. Ricky Ray hit by a former Argo, Jasper Simmons.
Like Ricky Ray wanted to get the ball to Anthony Coombs, but you're right, Chris. An outstanding program by Nissan. I can't wait to see the developments in those high schools. Watch this throw. He wanted to get it out to Coombs out in the flat here. Number 1 coming right at you. And that's covered up. Red Blacks take care of that defensively. He has to pull it down, and then takes the hit from Jasper Simmons.
Devon Johnson was there too. 2nd and 7. Here comes pressure. Ray underneath. Pass incomplete. And it will be a 2 and out again. Ray trying to connect with the youngster Anthony Coombs.
Toronto's going to be standing in their end zone by about 5 yards to kick this football away. Does Scott Milanovic give up 2 here, or put it in the hands of his defense around midfield, depending on what the return is? And you're going to see more Javon Johnson in returns as well.
Jamil Smith not in the game. Johnson awaiting at midfield. Good boot. He'll take it at the 46. Crosses the 55. And the Red Blacks will start in Toronto territory after a 12-yard return. Public transportation to the game tonight because it is still a construction area for the players. Well, the last few weeks they've been using bikes, including Coach Rick Campbell, to get to work. And with more on that, here's Brent Wallace.
And it's as simple, Chris, as saying there's no parking here for the players, really. There's still a construction site, as you say. So the players, there's about 25 to 30 guys who are now starting to bike to work, as you say, including head coach Rick Campbell, who lives about 4 blocks away now. Keith Sholigan drives, or bikes, I should say, about 10 kilometers. He comes from Gatineau. He has the longest commute, he says. Now, he also says he'd rather face opposing teams rather than the Ottawa traffic. But again, it is something they've all enjoyed, and they say Siobhan Walker's the guy most likely to join the Tour de France, as he has all the gear and all the clips and bikes and bells and whistles. Guys?
How about Sholigan? 290 pounds listed, but if he keeps that 10K ride from Gatineau, he's going to be down to about 250.
Well, there's the upside, but I've got an idea for the Red Blacks. I mean, once the development right here behind the stadium, and it's going to be a beautiful condo built right in behind. Once that's done, live right there, they could fall out of bed and get to practice.
6 for Walker. 2nd and 4. And they'll screen it out. Here's Siobhan Walker. Dwight Anderson can't bring him down. And it's a first down for the Red Blacks. 8 for the running back with his 4th catch of the season.
10 for 92 for Siobhan Walker and a touchdown last week. And Burrs mentioned to us they got to get the football to 29 a lot more often and keep the defense off balance, try to slow that pass rush so he can get a little chemistry with his receiving core. The key to that will be play action and actually giving the ball to Chevy.
Initial first down of the game for the Red Blacks. Here comes the pressure. Burris gets it away. Looks for Kieran Johnson. And Jerome Carter on the scene. Tight coverage with flags back at the line of scrimmage.
Well, Siobhan Walker took on Shea Emery in the hole on a blitz pickup. And that was a battle that lasted to the echo of the whistle.
Major foul. Roughing the passer. Toronto number 77. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's Logan Harrell. 3rd roughing the passer penalty charged against the Argos this season.
Take a look. He's in the interior defensive line. Actually takes the double team. Continues on. Must have got the call.
Boy, if he got him very late.
I think that was the play before.
Walker trying to get outside. Shea Emery can't bring him down. Harrell will angle him out at the 19-yard line.
Go right back to the run game on this play. We'll show you the late hit on the quarterback. The one we showed you was a play before. We're going to get back to that one, but there's Siobhan Walker breaking a couple of tackles, get them in 2nd and media. Now you're going to see right here, this is the roughing the passer on Logan Harrell as he comes up the middle, fights past the center, and there's a high hit.
Jermichael Dean, the right guard, has been shaken up and getting attention.
And here's where that theory of mine gets tested, because when the Red Blacks built their team through the expansion draft, Rick Campbell wanted to build the offensive and defensive lines first in the Canadian spots. Now that doesn't affect the American position. Jermichael Dean now comes off. Now, technically speaking, each team in the league, if you lose one, you're looking at 2 guys that may have been developmental guys that are a year away that are now forced to play And the defensive linemen are now saying, okay, I got a couple of youngsters in front of me.
Alex Krosnick checks in. 2nd and 8. More pressure. And the pass falls incomplete as Burris is hurried. And the drive will stall. The field goal unit comes on for the Red Blacks.
What Ottawa did establish, though, is Siobhan Walker on that drive. A couple of times he was in pass protection, but when they did get him the football, he was getting good yards and good production on first down. And that's something Rick Campbell will be able to build on as this game goes on.
Brett Mahar's family's here watching their first CFL game, including his 5-week-old child, as he lines up this attempt from 26. And the first points for the Red Blacks on their new home turf. Off his foot to tie the game. Red Blacks and Argos tied at 3. This kid's made an early impression. Anthony Coombs, now a focal point of the Argo offense. Regular season meeting between the two senior quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League.
And you look at the 28 previous head-to-head matchups between Ricky Ray and Henry Burris, two future Hall of Famers. The numbers almost identical. Ray has the advantage in completion percentage. Henry Burris in touchdown passes. Burris has the win-loss edge. But of late, since they've been in the East, Ricky Ray's up 3 wins to 2.
Maher the boot, and this is speedy Terrell Sinkfield on the return. Looked dangerous in the preseason, and he gets nailed at the 35-yard line. Well, you had those numbers. Out of 28 matchups, the difference in passing yards between Ray and Burris, just 46 yards. That's how close.
Amazing, isn't it? And one that is looking at 48,000 career, over 48,000. One that in Henry Burris that should get to 52,000 here tonight. Murray! Offense is slow to get going here, but that's understandable when you think about the receiving cores of both teams.
Completed his first 4, but has missed on the last 3. And a handoff to Steele. Straight ahead. He gets wrestled down by Justin Capicotti.
So Ray talked yesterday about maybe an extra second, especially when he wants to try and push the ball deep, and that he may have to use some of these receivers differently than he uses Chad Owens and Andre Dury. Terrell Sinkfield more of a downfield route runner.
5 for Steele, 2nd and 5. Here comes the heat. Ray, that corner route looking for Childs. Incomplete. Seth Williams got over in coverage. Wide side corner.
It's a great example of trying to understand receivers in new positions on that corner route. John Childs usually the wide receiver. That's an Andre Dury, Chad Owens part of the field on that inside slot back position. So Ray is trying to gauge his speed on a corner route and puts it just a little too far out in front of him.
So Waters the boot. Not as deep a kick. And Johnson lunging up to the 48. So good field position for the latest Red-Black possession.
Boy, it came together quickly. It started back in 2007, this Ottawa franchise, when the ownership group got together, awarded a franchise in 2008 by the Canadian Football League. That franchise had to be extended as they cut through all the red tape here in Ottawa, finally got the building up and started the draft. Designed to make this a competitive team early on, and they've been that.
Walker stays in. Burris looks deep. He's got a man open. And Kiera Johnson can't squeeze the football. They took a shot and got a man deep in behind coverage.
Well, they had it all. They had protection up front, no one in the face of Henry Burris. And this is where it's important you have a veteran quarterback to go back to this guy and say, don't worry about this one. Let this one go so it doesn't bother Kier Johnson all night long. But he is uncovered right down Main Street, right off the hands. Can't throw it any better.
Coach Campbell mentioned yesterday needs the playmakers to make plays. Talked about Darius Bowman doing that last week against them. Pressure on Burris, and he'll be taken down. Sack on the play, and again, it's Tristan Apalago bringing down the quarterback.
He gets some pressure from the outside. Jamie Robinson, the linebacker, is going to come on the blitz, and unlike that first attempt deep to Kier Johnson, this time absolutely zero time for Henry Burris. That blitz coming from the right of your screen. Robinson almost offside.
They mark him just beyond the line of scrimmage, so no sack for Apalago, but they're forced to kick. Here's Brendan Smith. And downfield cover is good. He's dropped at the 15-yard line. So in the field position battle of this opening quarter, it's been advantage Red Blacks. 51-yard punt, 5 on the return. Couple of 2-and-outs registered so far.
Take a look, Chris, at Steve Slayton in the backfield out of West Virginia. Of course, tremendous resume in the National Football League, and what a player. College ball. There's his Sports Illustrated cover.
4th in the Heisman balloting 1 year. Played with a hamstring problem throughout training camp, so his first chance, and out of the backfield he goes, makes the first man miss, and on his first touch, Steve Slayton has a first down and a pickup matching the number on his back. 20 yards for the Argos.
You can see how strong he is in that upper body strength as he just knocks off that first tackle attempt. He just bounces outside, and Ray, who loves to check down the football and will be patient if you allow him to do it. Play a lot of zone defense against Ricky Ray. Expect him to use his backs and his slot backs on those checkdowns all night long.
45 games in the NFL, 1,282 yards in his rookie season with Houston. Now the sweep. Here's the speedy Sinkfield, and the ball popped out into the play, and they're ruling Fairless down as Brandon Thompson vacuumed him up in a hurry. But they're marking Sinkfield down at the 42.
Lead block around the corner by Steve Slayton, and Terrell Sinkfield. The crowd here in Ottawa thought that this was a fumble. They did hear a whistle. It looks like he was down by contact. The correct call was made.
Sinkfield's a burner. And a Minnesota Pro Day ran 4.19 in the 40.
Oh, what?
Yeah. There's Slayton again out of the backfield, and they've got something with Steve Slayton. Big stiff arm as Jasper Simmons finally wrestled him down, but the chains are moving for the Argos with Slayton in the backfield.
Well, you mentioned he was injured, had a hamstring, and so he was in that battle with Jeremiah Johnson, who played last week. They want to take a look at Slayton. Look at that upper body strength. Big stiff arm there to pick up an extra 4 or 5 yards. That's how he got 10 of his 20 in the first carry, his first touch offensively. 89th pick in the NFL overall, 2008, by the Houston Texans. And had over 1,000 yards, over 1,200 yards rushing that night, or that year. Off to a good start tonight.
Argos have an injured offensive lineman. It's the left tackle, Sir Vincent Rogers. So Wayne Smith will come into the game.
I have a feeling Scott Milenovich is looking down and saying, okay, number 20 on this chart of mine right here. I think I might get him the football a few more times, see how that works out.
It's gone according to script. He mentioned prior to the game that they wanted to get him out of the flat, get him the football. There's Brian Chu, the former all CFL center, that heads up the offensive line coaching duties for the Argos. They'll have to make an adjustment with Rogers making his way to the bench.
If Toronto continues to use Steve Slayton out of the backfield, it'll force Mark Nelson, the defensive coordinator for Ottawa, and this Renegade Red Black defense to start playing more man-to-man.
Got the fine jar out. Nice to get a contribution. Slayton again, 5th touch of the game, kicking it outside, and he's got another first down, but a late flag comes down. 10 more for Slayton. And that would be 58 combined yards in this first quarter, pending this flag.
He waves to the bench.
4 yards were gained. Holding Toronto number 43. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
3 or 4 carries for Steve Slayton, and he goes to the bench and says, I need a breather. I got to get my game wind going here.
That was Alexander Dupuis, the fullback out of Montreal. And there's the infraction as he got the clutches on Jarrell Gavins. So 1st and 20 back at the Toronto 45. Ray over the middle, and the catch is made. Sigfield out battling Gavins on the final play of this opening quarter. Argos have the football. They scored first. And through 50.
The Argos tied at 3 apiece. Commissioner of the Canadian Football League, Mark Cohan, is with us. You had said before that not having Ottawa in this league was like a hole in the CFL's heart. What does this night mean to you and the CFL?
Well, personally and professionally, I think we filled that hole. We have thousands of people here sold out. It's an unbelievable night. The electricity, not just in the stadium, but in the city is amazing, and it's just going to help CFL in this part of the country.
2 teams failed here in the course of a decade. Why will it be different this time?
Right ownership, amazing facility, unbelievable fans, a competitive team, and great corporate support. That's why it's going to be successful.
Argos brought down as a 2nd down. It's a beautiful night. It's a perfect CFL night. Packed house, outdoor stadium. And yet the other team we're watching tonight, the Argos, 4 hours down the road, are struggling with small crowds in a dome. How concerned are you about that franchise, and what's the answer?
I think the answer is a smaller field, like BMO Field. So we know Rogers Centre, they got 4 more years in Rogers Centre. We're talking to Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment. We're talking to the City of Toronto, and we're working to see if we can move them into BMO Field and replicate what we have here.
All right, punt into the end zone, so a single point for the Toronto Argos as we thank the Commissioner for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Thanks, James.
Back to you guys upstairs.
Well, this is a marvelous facility, and you know, Toronto fans would love to have something like this, and maybe even the same size and footprint. Boy, you'll never get a better location than along the Rideau Canal.
You know, and I truly believe, like what happened in Vancouver, I know it's a different scenario stadium-wise, but you know, with right management and the coaching staff, and what's in Toronto now is Scott Milenovich and Jim Barker. They're building a football program there, the right facility. They will have those football fans in a smaller venue to support the Toronto Argonauts, and that's really the last sort of piece to the puzzle.
65-yard single puts the Argos ahead. Little play action, and that is Marcus Henry. He gets jolted out by Brendan Smith. Is a flag down. Henry Burris with a couple of Ottawa connections prior to getting here. Grew up in the same county as J.C. Watts back in Oklahoma. Same school district.
Offside. Ottawa number 80. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So it's Dobson Collins called on the offside. And the other connection, his college coach at Temple, Steve Goldman, former coach of the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Well, I couldn't agree more with Mark Cohan, the commissioner of the CFL, when he says these owners are here to stay. Local guys, deep pockets, and they're doing it for the right reasons.
Pitch to Kier Johnson inside. Jermaine Gabriel, first contact. Johnson bounced ahead, short of the first down, but once again a flag on the play.
Great article in the paper today about the troubled times here in Ottawa and the football team, and all those seasons without a winning season, all those seasons without a playoff game. And it was just mentioned in the article that the kids in this region and the francophones, too, in this region.
Illegal block. Ottawa number 63. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
That's John Gott, the center.
They weren't around. I mean, when they're playing high school football now, they weren't around for those bad times. And so this is just a brand new football team to them. And when you look at the stadium improvements across the league, state-of-the-art facilities, top to bottom, we've got one more piece to fix.
First and 25. Burris over the middle. Oh, what a shot. Dwight Anderson with a huge shot on Carlton Mitchell that draws flags. And while he celebrates, that's one that the league is trying to eliminate.
Yeah, that's a defenseless receiver over the middle. That would be unnecessary roughness on Dwight Anderson. We saw it last night on the hit on Fred Stamps. We hope that he's okay.
Major foul. Unnecessary roughness. Toronto number 33. 15-yard penalty enforced from the previous line of scrimmage. Automatic first down.
Well, I think Dwight Anderson realizes it now, and he's going back because he got up celebrating. Now the ball's gone. Takes another step and a half. Trying to eliminate this hit. The defenseless receiver playing the football. The ball's gone. You got to avoid contact there for defensive back. Simple as that. And folks, if you're one of those who think, well, come on, it's football, it's a tough game. This is reality. This is the new culture, and player safety is important. That's a hit that's unnecessary. It'll be called every time. Dwight Anderson should know that.
So Mitchell continues to get attention and will step out for the gate, as the Argos will attest. So first down after the penalty against Anderson. A pass over the middle, and Henry can't hang on, and DA in coverage there. There were a lot of fans looking for an ejection after that hit by Anderson.
Yeah, and I'm not sure about that because of the timing of the play. Certainly Dwight Anderson couldn't have avoided it. Could have avoided the hit. I'm just not liking him taunting the Red Blacks bench right now. This is a play later after this hit that he's called for unnecessary roughness, and he's over there talking trash to the Red Blacks bench.
Second and 10, four-man Argo rush. Burris guns it in off the hands of Dobson Collins. Incomplete.
I'll tell you what, this offense is not on track just yet for the Red Blacks, but I've seen some good things, honestly. Siobhan Walker, first of all, that they went away with the last couple of series. And also, they've had some open receivers in that intermediate to deep range and just missed them.
And Miles going to take off with it. He's got running room and a first down. So, element of surprise. The former Nebraska Cornhusker runs 15 for first down to keep the offense on the field.
Tough to tell if Marner had this at called play or if he just has the green light that if there's an open end and he doesn't see a contained man, take a look. Now, it looks like the blocking is designed like it was a called play, something they saw on the game film. They took the opportunity and executed perfectly.
He's just showing off for mom and dad in the stands.
Wisely got out of bounds.
Burris throws the hitch. It's Kier Johnson. Jermaine Gabriel coming down, but it's another Red Black first down. 19 for Johnson.
You could talk with Henry Burris about his young receiving core. I say young in the fact that they haven't played together very long. There are some veterans in the lineup, and Kier Johnson's been around the CFL for 4 years. And that's the guy he's leaning on most in this game. You see Kier Johnson playing as hard as he is after that early drop on the deep ball, the sure touchdown throw. He's been running hard since then.
Leading receiver in the early going for the Red Blacks this season. Former BC Lions, Saskatchewan Roughrider. Red Blacks in business. Siobhan Walker. And he gets dusted. Shane Horton, the Will linebacker. They've been eager to get Horton making more big plays. He just delivered.
His timing is perfect, and he read the mail. And Javon Walker knows it. Walker was just taking that football when Shane Horton, the timing blitz, through the gap, unloads.
Former USC Trojan replacing Marcus Ball, NFL bound, and now an early jump by that Argo defense. That should get the 5 back that they lost on the previous play.
Tough game last week for the Red Blacks when they went to Edmonton. And
offside. Toronto number 91. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Lost 27-11 in that game. Talked to Rick Campbell about it. Said he had some protection issues that Henry Burris was trying to throw around pass rush for most of the night. That's improved as well tonight. He has had time to hit some deep balls. That takes another second. They haven't connected just yet, but there have been opportunities.
That's the 10th offside against the Argo defense this year. It's been a problem. 2nd and 9. Nice grab there, and he gets free. Marcus Henry with the play. Jermaine Gabriel will tackle him. That's what Rick Campbell was talking about. When you get a chance, make a play.
And Marcus Henry has got to be a 1,000-yard receiver for this Ottawa football team. And if he is, the former Kansas Jayhawk can be a difference maker in a big, big way. Huge hands, a big target. He makes it happen here all by himself. That ball thrown out in front of him, that's a tough catch to make. He pulls it up with the one hand, splits the defense, and moves the chains.
That'll build some confidence. First down after an 18-yard pickup. A lot of time. Burris and Johnson can't hang on. Check that Henry again working against Jalil Carter.
And that one he just fought, and that's that consistency that Burris was talking about yesterday, that, you know, we're getting close, that those guys are getting open. I'm getting the time now to see them and find them down the field, and now we just got to get consistent. That means you make one play one time, you follow it up with another one. And that would have put him on the doorstep instead. 2nd and long.
So 2nd and 10 from the 22. And they swing it out. Here's Walker being trapped by Jeannie Robinson. Brendan Smith is there. And stopped for no gain. And Walker gets up in a...
Burris wants to go. He got over there quickly to talk to the officials about something.
It looked like Shea Emery was late, and that's what Burris was arguing about, and I think that's why some ill humor as Emery got in there a little bit late, but no call.
Shea Emery will play on that ragged edge.
So Maher comes back, looking at a 29-yarder. After extending the drive with a 15-yard run of his own. And he just sneaks it through. Red Blacks back in the lead. Off the foot to Brett Maher. Stadium, new home of the Red Blacks. And the folks really appreciate their new digs, and with a little bit more inside, here's Brett Wallace.
Well, CC, behind me are the south side stands, and that's where it's been completely rebuilt and redesigned, and underneath it is a whole new world for the Ottawa Red Blacks. And Red Blacks equipment manager RJ James gives us a VIP tour of the new facilities here at TD Place Stadium. Highlights include an impressive players' lounge area and what many are calling the nicest locker room in the league. And some have said it's even bigger than Dallas Cowboys, although I haven't been there to see it myself. Trainers area and fitness area, which they share with the Ottawa Fury NASL soccer team, are equally as impressive. And it is a pretty impressive looking venue underneath. The 6 media rooms as well for meetings afterwards for players and coaches. And they also talk about how the new concrete smell of the building still lingers.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Still a little work to be done, but it is a tremendous facility. A big play there to Darvin Adams, 45 yards. Ricky Ray with the connection to the 24-year-old out of Auburn. So the Argos in business. Sinkfield in motion. 4 receivers to this near side. Ray flushed and tripped. and dropped. First sack of the night. Registered by the Red Blacks. There's Captain Phillips, special teams captain and defensive end, the veteran Justin Phillips, from this area in his 8th CFL year. So 2nd and 13. Ray looks for Sinkfield, and TJ Hill to break that up. And Phillips in the neighborhood again.
That's the type of route that Chad Owens makes a living off of, that quick slant. He makes that play and then turns around and gets all those yards after the catch. And when I talked to Scott Milenovich about what Terrell Sinkfield might bring, he said, well, we're gonna use him in the same spot often where Owens plays, and he will run some of those routes, but he can also get down the field. He's a nice, smooth route runner, can go after that deep ball. So look for that in the second half from the newcomer in the receiving corps.
Waters hit from 36 now. Tries to put the Argos back in the lead from 40 yards out. And Swayze Waters good once again, now 9 for 10 on the season. Argos lead by a point. D in TD Place Stadium at 7-6 Argos, but boy, is it good to be back in the nation's capital.
You know, it really is. You walk along the canal and take a look at the stadium. Absolutely state-of-the-art, beautiful. The fans and the buzz in this city. A couple weeks ago, the 10,000 that came in. There was a pep rally at City Hall yesterday that had thousands of people there, and people are really excited about this football team.
First time we're back since 2005. There goes Walker, and he'll be dragged down around the 25-yard line. One change for us. We're on the south side, which I believe in Ottawa football history means we've got to be a little edgier, a little louder. Right? You know, the north side guys are like Duthie, you know, a lot of money over on that side of the field, but it's a little different over here.
Well, this is the brand new side, too, as Brent mentioned, because, yeah, the press box on the south side, so we're officially Southsiders, is that what you're saying?
I think that, well, I'm not sure if that makes us better people or not, but great that we're back in Ottawa. And reverse, Apalago in pursuit, and Burris will run back to the original line of scrimmage as Tristan Apalago out of Fresno State put the heat on. Do have a flag down on the play.
Legal contact on receiver, Toronto number 91, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So Apalago gets called for an illegal contact on a receiver, unless they get the number wrong.
Well, he came on the rush and then chased Henry Burris out of there. Apalago, unless he grabs the back out of the backfield, Siobhan Walker.
First down, Burris. And Apalago gets him, wraps him, and tosses him down. He's had a strong first half and gets in Burris's grill. Argos 39 penalties in their 2 losses so far this year.
Apalago again right over here. That same left end position. Henry Burris is going to have to start to change up his snap count a little bit. The defensive front 7 for the Argos right now is getting a great jump on the ball. We saw Shane Horton get in the backfield, hit Siobhan Walker early. That's a couple of big pass rushes from Apalago.
2nd and 11. 4-man rush. Horton can't bring him down, but Burris ends up on the turf anyway. The pressure off the edge once again from the weak side linebacker, Shane Horton.
He's come from the same spot, but in a couple of different gaps. This is a nice job defensively to just change it up enough. Hold it for a second, guys. I'll show you the first blitz he hit. Siobhan Walker was there. This time he comes from the outside. So he goes from a B-gap blitz between the guard and the tackle to a C-gap blitz outside of the tackle.
And Jamie Robinson will get credit for the sack. Brendan Smith from his 29. Flag down as He's dropped at the 40. 53-yard punt by Maher. And the 11-yard return will be negated by penalty.
He fell over. Fuck.
I know this game feels a little bit like a defensive struggle, a little bit like a low-scoring defensive game.
During the run back, illegal block, Toronto number 87, 10-yard penalty, first down.
I've seen both teams take some shots down the field, have opportunities down the field. Darvin Adams had that one catch. Kier Johnson threw his hands, or that is a touchdown. There's been some opportunities. See if they can clean it up offensively in the second half.
Argos start at the 20. Ray under pressure underneath Curtis Steele. And he'll get to the 30 and get a first down. Argos shuttle in with running backs, replacing Steele at times during a game, not because they're unhappy with him, but because he is so valuable as a special team player as well.
Well, Steele, they feel that Curtis Steele's their best special teams player, and so they want to keep him on the teams. It's a third of the game. That means you got to spell him offensively. Goes up to wide receiver now.
That lines up as a receiver. Coombs in the backfield. And Anthony Coombs takes the handoff and gets 6.
Great conversation with Anthony Coombs. What a great kid. You know, a guy that working real hard to learn and understand. He said he still at times in practice is standing in the huddle with Ricky Ray, and he goes, wow, I'm standing in the huddle with Ricky Ray. That's pretty cool. He says, but over the last couple of weeks, he's got more confidence because he's getting more playing time, and now he can go and talk and ask Ray for advice. Tell him what he sees down the field.
Second and 4. Ray steps up. He's got a first down. And he'll slide feet first in front of Eric Fraser. Ricky Ray, actually the number 4 quarterback in rushing this year. Coming into the game, something you wouldn't expect.
No, you don't. But watch the linebackers here declare early. And you see where they're declaring. They're stepping up to widen that open lane. So he sees that blitz outside, and there's the big running lane up the middle, and it's just the safety Eric Fraser left to make the tackle.
First down for Ray, the 3-minute warning here. First half in Ottawa. Argos lead by 1. Ricky Ray ran for a first down. Argos up at their 45. Big to Steele. Pass thrown away by Ray to set up 2nd and 10.
Safety Eric Fraser came down and covered Anthony Coombs out of the backfield. This is a play that Ray runs a ton, where he's going to fake the run and then try and get a receiver / tailback out of the backfield into the flat. Didn't happen because the safety jumped him. Now Fraser plays cheerleader and gets the crowd into it.
Ray 9 for 15 on the night for 126. Looks at 2nd and 10. Had enough steamboats underneath, incomplete. Coombs can't hang on, and the defense forces the Argos off the field.
Drill Gavins steps up and looks like he's going to blitz, but he pressure rushes. And what that means, there he is right there. What that means is he's going to rush up like he's going to blitz, but he's going to take Anthony Coombs out of the backfield and man-to-man. So he's like he's going to blitz. Then he sees a receiver come out, and Ray just can't get it to him. He's too well covered.
Waters' kick doesn't give Johnson much room as he steps out of bounds. A reminder that coming up at halftime, Rod, Milt, Lapo, and Matty in studio. And we'll also hear from James Duffy here at TD Place Stadium with Jeff Hunt, who has been the front man of that terrific ownership group that's put football back in Ottawa.
Roger Greenberg, John Ruddy, William Shankman, thank you. Great job.
"39th consecutive start for Henry Burris. That's tops in the league. Bad for a guy that's 39 years of age. Trying to get this offense rolling. Absorbed a hit and now takes off. Gordon in pursuit. But Burris will scramble for a first down. He did suggest we'd see more of that tonight to try and get this offense going.
He did say that yesterday. He said, you know, sometimes I'm going to have to break down the defense with my legs. I've done it throughout my career. Take a look at the numbers head-to-head so far tonight as we go into halftime here. Really not getting that offense going. Although, as I mentioned, there is deep balls available that they just haven't hooked up on. And now it's like Henry Burris may start to run a little bit more.
Patrick Lavoie checks in late, 1st and 10. Up at the 32. 4 receivers near side. He'll go the other way. And a completion. Henry with the catch. Up at the 49. 16 for Marcus Henry.
Marcus Henry, when he was a Jayhawk, his nickname was Mute because he didn't talk at all. If he starts doing some talking with his actions, this red-black team has a chance.
Maybe he let teammate John Cornish do all the talking.
Well, they were on the same roster with the Jayhawks in 2006. University of Kansas Jayhawks.
2 minutes left, and here's Siobhan Walker with a cutback. And into Toronto territory. Robinson with the stop. Close to 8 for Siobhan Walker.
Marcus Henry, when he was a junior at the University of Kansas, he was talked about by his teammates. In fact, voted as the player that would be the biggest surprise in his senior year. He had a great senior year, but he's been one of those guys where, whether it be in college with the Jayhawks or in the pros, where people keep looking at him with this great potential. Sooner or later, he's got to realize that maybe this is the first step.
Just 14 yards rushing for Walker. He gets the ball for a second straight time. Gets tossed back. Be interesting to see where forward progress is. He was close to a first down near the Argo 51.
Well, close enough either way that Rick Campbell would go if he didn't get quite there. But I flat out asked Rick Campbell after 2 games with Marcus Henry, who you were real high on, and Dobson Collins, who we haven't talked much about at all here tonight, are you good with your receiving corps? He says, yeah, we've got to be patient with these guys while they work on that overused word, chemistry, with their quarterback.
It's interesting, both quarterbacks, as you see there, a few chain link short, had the same refrain. They want to make sure their receivers are playing fast. Henry Burris thought in Edmonton they were thinking and playing slower than necessary. And Ricky Ray's got a lot of young guys and was worried about the same thing. Burris stays in this short yardage. And miles ahead. He didn't need much, didn't get much, but will move the chains.
On the other side of that 50, yeah, that'll be a first down for Ottawa. Lots of time. He doesn't have to take shots just yet. Can continue to run the offense. Rick Campbell just wants to get him in and out of the huddle as quickly as possible.
So just over a minute left. Burris trying to engineer the Red Blacks' first ever home touchdown drive. 49 yards away. Walker to the backfield. They'll go deep down the field, and there's a ball caught. There's a flag. Kerr Johnson. Jermaine Gabriel will be called for the interference.
Well, Kerr Johnson was trying to get back to the ball. Now, Dwight Anderson was back there too, Chris. The safety, Jermaine Gabriel, came over as well.
That's interference for Argo number 33.
And it is Anderson.
Automatic first down.
Anderson didn't see that the ball was underthrown, and he was just trying to track Kerr Johnson. You can see the two of them right here in the middle of your screen, and as Kerr Johnson works back to the football and may have got there, Dwight Anderson turns his shoulders. That's pass interference.
Fifth PI beats the Argos secondary this season, so they're in business at the 15. Burris in trouble, dumps it off, and it's caught for a short gain. Brought down by Johnson.
Well, I tell you what, I know how badly Henry Burris wants to get in the end zone here, but they're in scoring range, tight game. I'm not sure who the intended target was here. It looked like Burris just got in big trouble back there and thought, well, I see one black jersey, I'm just going to toss it up there. There was about 5-6 guys in that spot.
I think he was looking for Matt Carter. He's 7 for 12, 73. 2nd and 7. Short drop, nobody there. And in trouble, and down he goes. 3rd sack of the game for the Argos.
But the right stalls. But the right decision, Chris. The right decision. I mean, that pocket collapsed a little quick for him. He does have an open receiver deep, but as the pocket collapsed and he has to step back up into it, now he can't unload it. And this is a smart decision. You're in field goal range. Take the sack. Get the field goal team out there. Take the points.
Leon Lang at the bottom of the pile was hanging on for the sack. And Ottawa, with a successful field goal, will have a halftime lead for the 3rd consecutive week. And Maher's not going to miss from 22.
I'll give you a quick example about how important protection is and how important those offensive line are. I'm going to show you that same play where the sack was just taken by Henry Burris. And Burris takes a sack. Go ahead and run it, guys. Watch how he steps up. The pocket's going to collapse on him. If he gets another second, stop it here. Stop it here. One more second, and he has a touchdown throw in the back of the end zone. That's the importance of protection up front and that extra second the quarterback needs to throw.
So it's a game of inches and a game of steamboats. And he needed one more.
He needed one more.
So pretty well a saw-off in this opening half in the nation's capital. Gonna have to do it one more time. And Scott Milanovich upset that they didn't just let time run out. They go through the formality of ending the half. 9-7. REDBLACKS with the lead halftime. As we check back in with the panel and Rod Smith.
All right, thank you, Chris. Welcome back to our Friday night.
It has been a defensive battle, which is surprising because these teams rank 8th and 9th in defense coming into the game.
But a cool night, either way. I mean, you know, we talked a lot about the iconic names, the Russ Jacksons, Ron Stewarts, Tony Gabriels. But there was some great football players that played for this team in the bad times. Guys like Tom Clements, Tom Burgess.
Stacey Waters with an errant kickoff that goes out of bounds. That'll give the REDBLACKS terrific field position to start the second half. And again, the guys talked about it. Halftime, the second half woes so far this season for the REDBLACKS.
Well, the 3rd game in a row that the REDBLACKS.
Kickoff out of bounds. Toronto number 34. Ball will be placed on the 45-yard line. 1st down.
3rd game in a row that they've been up at the half and haven't been able to finish. I asked Rick Campbell, how do you practice that? How do you practice finishing? He said, you practice that every play you run in practice matters.
They've been outscored 44-11 in the second half of their first 2 games, trying to change that. And here's Walker trying the left side. Good speed here. Breaks it. Flag is down behind the play. Siobhan Walker, who rumbled for a 65-yarder last week, with a big gain here that's going to be called back.
Well, Chevy almost made it to the levee at the canal. It was that speed to the outside. I mean, this guy can flat out fly. Matt Dunnigan at the start of the show said he's the fastest guy in the CFL. You get no argument for me.
Holding Ottawa number 85. A 10-yard penalty remains 1st down.
That's Matt Carter. Tried to make a block to help spring his running back, and it brings a 44-yard run back.
And Matt Carter was right the kick out man right here, trying to open up that lane for Siobhan Walker. He looks fine there, and then holds on and pulls the jersey well after he's long gone behind him.
Brendan Smith, the man he held. 1st and 20. Palago gets to the quarterback once again. And again, Scott Milanovich mentioned prior to the game, this has been the best defensive end they've had, and he got injured on that sack of the quarterback. And he'll have to take a knee.
Looks like he's got a shoulder issue, that left either elbow or shoulder. Let's take a look at him. Looking on the new tackle, Jarrell McCullough.
Second sack of the game for Apalago. 3rd of the season. 2nd of the bunch. And his ball's going to take off. A lot of time. Trying to pump the fake. Brendan Smith, or check that Underwood, who would have none of it. And angles out the quarterback after a gain of 7.
You know, when Burris gets outside, I thought, okay, this could be trouble for the secondary for the Argos, because now he's got lots of room, but he didn't set up. He did have an open receiver. I believe it was Dobson Collins briefly, but then the secondary recovered. Stop it there. Dobson Collins is open down the middle briefly.
3rd turn out of the game. Here's Smith. Trying to surge through, but that cover team's done a good job.
Let's go back there and show you that Dobson Collins was open, but at that time Henry Burris wasn't ready to throw the football. Go ahead and run it from here, guys. I'll show you when Collins opens up in the middle. It's right about now. Okay, hold it there. There he is there. But you see Burris back here is not quite ready to throw. He's getting out and getting open. Then he gets open, and then the secondary rallies to him.
Well, missed opportunity.
Been a couple of those tonight. I mean, there really has. You think about Kiera Johnson down the middle in the first quarter. A couple of deep balls dropped.
Couple tight ends for the Argos to start here in this second half. And there's Seth Williams tossing down Spencer Watt after a gain of 7. Watt, one of the few incumbents in the receiving corps for the Argos tonight.
And he's a long way. He's that wide out at the wide side of the field. So he's a long way away from Ray, although having said that, in 3 games he had 11 catches. Wasn't quite the 28 that Chad Owens registered in 3 games, but he's getting more involved.
A couple of touchdowns in the Eastern Final last year. 2nd and short. Steele ahead. 1st down. Oh, dropped the ball. And the REDBLACKS are on it. It will be Ottawa football as Curtis Steele puts it on the ground.
Heard the coach at halftime, our coach, Paul LaPolice, say turnovers could really creep into this football game and be a difference maker. Because it's low scoring, because it's a bit of a defensive battle right now. Either team not able to connect on those deep balls, but clearly that's a fumble recovered by the REDBLACKS.
Javon Johnson, Eric Fraser there. Looks like Johnson with the fumble recovery. And it's Ottawa football on the Argos side of half at the Toronto 49. Take the walk with pressure on. Burris trying to dump it off. And does shovel it away for the incompletion to avoid the sack.
Well, that was John Delahunt, so technically a fullback or tight end.
There's no infraction for grounding. Ottawa number 49 was right there.
But here's been a second quarter issue. In the first quarter, the REDBLACKS used Siobhan Walker on 1st down and had some success, and we're moving the football. Didn't score, but we're moving it. As the second quarter went on, that average dropped. In fact, Ottawa in the first half had just over 4 yards on 1st down. Not enough to get them in that good, comfortable situation on 2nd.
2nd and 10. Here comes the heat again. Burris skips the pass. Short and incomplete. Kiera Johnson. And again, the Argos dial up the pressure on Henry Burris.
Argos load up. Henry Burris' right side of the formation, and what they want to do is make him throw to his offside. He's a right-handed quarterback, and look how Toronto loads up the right side, expecting him to half roll that way with Siobhan Walker there for protection. They're going to bet that he's going to try and throw or roll that side, and they shut it down.
Maher looking for the pin. Sinkfield drops it. Looks like no yards would be the call anyway, as Sinkfield had trouble finding the handle after a 39-yard punt. And this may be the full no yards.
No yards. Ottawa number 43, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So the penalty against Travis Brown gives Ricky Ray a little better field position. Season ticket holder for the Ottawa REDBLACKS, the Prime Minister, sitting with Commissioner Mark Cohan and Russ Jackson.
Yeah, has bought season tickets to support this team. We'll move around in the stadium, different spots when his schedule allows. But that's pretty cool. PM has come out and support the local team.
Ricky Ray going to work, and Anthony Coombs underneath, and the rookie up to the 35-yard line.
And I mentioned earlier that the ownership group here, and I talked to Roger Greenberg yesterday, one of the owners, and talked about how they're doing it for the right reasons. He mentioned in our conversation that he believes there are 4 pillars to a great community, and one and most important being the health system. The education system is number 2. Arts and museums, music, things like that, number 3. And then the sports culture, number 4. And he said we wanted to be a big part of that 4th pillar in the community.
Second and short, and the handoff inside, and they stuff it. Well, extra effort may have got the first down. They had to get up to the 36-yard line, got a little push from behind. You know what, if you wanted to know how big Russ Jackson is, you just saw it there. A fan went by the Prime Minister and then shook hands with Russ.
Russ Jackson.
That extra effort and maybe the push got the Argos the first down as the chains come out.
Based on the players that Scott Milenovich has lost due to injury, Chad Owens on the 6th game, Andre Dury, we mentioned, Jason Barnes, if you're just joining us, not in the lineup tonight. I think he's got to be pretty happy with all the hype around this football game to be in a low-scoring 2-point game. This team on the road, chance to finish strong and steal this one, kind of pour a little water on this party, on this fire. It's been going on here.
Just wanted to relive this.
Hello?
Oh, yes.
Hello?
Yes, he's
Russ
Jackson. Let's go. First to 10 Argos. Ray wants to load up and ended up throwing it away off the official, but did well just to avoid the sack as the defense has continued to dominate this game.
Well, in fairness to Ricky Ray, with the changes in his receiving core, I'm not surprised that he may have thought this was a newcomer to the lineup. But the umpire is not a potential target, not an eligible receiver. Lang brings him down.
Ricky Ray at 52.3% tonight. Only once since becoming an Argo has he had a completion percentage under 60%. Here's a pass for Coombs, who can't make the catch. Would have been a first down near midfield.
That's a tough catch to make. But it was the place that Ray had to put the ball. That wasn't a missed throw by Ricky Ray. That was a throw. Watch Coombs run this route. Now he's got to pull him back because of the high coverage. He's got coverage over the top, so he's got to bring him back. That's TJ Hill and Seth Williams. And he just can't get there. Tough catch to make, but that's where Ray had to put it.
Javon Johnson awaits. Pressure on. Waters gets away a good boot. And Johnson had to reel that one back in. A scary bobble. And not much on the return. Well, as mentioned, it's been a defensive battle. Well, we mentioned what a tremendous history of football here. 9 Grey Cups that era. 68-69 with Russ Jackson and Ronnie Stewart, Whit Tucker, a surprise cup in '73. There's the great Canadian trio of Stewart, Jackson, and Tucker, Jim Coode, Mo Racine, Bob Simpson, who I believe has the most touchdowns in Ottawa Rough Rider history. 35 players went on to the Hall of Fame. Bob Walker finding it going tough.
Yeah, interesting. And Frank Clair, the coach of all 5 Grey Cups from 60 to 76. And that last jersey, of course, Tony Gabriel on the wall. It was speaking engagement in Saskatchewan, and I had a whole bunch of people come up to me and say, so with Ottawa back in the league, does that mean on TSN we're going to get the roll-in of Tom Clements to Tony Gabriel again? I said, yep. I'm sorry, but we're going to get it. It's going to happen.
Got a tweet tonight from somebody in Saskatchewan that said when his name is mentioned, his father asked that person to leave the house. Under pressure again, and Henry Burris not getting any time at all. Tristan Apalago is having a night with his 3rd sack.
Tristan Apalago, you're absolutely right, out of Fresno State. I mean, he had that shoulder injury, came back the next series, and in that sprinter stance.
There's some veterans on that offensive line for Ottawa. Brendan Smith, the return up to the 38. Brought down by the top draft choice, Antoine Pruneau. Tally brought to you by Purelator. Tackling hunger across Canada. Check.
It is a story because there's 5 for these guys and only 1 for the new team on the block. Henry Burris' time in the pocket is dwindling quickly here.
Halfway through the 3rd quarter. Still a 2-point Ottawa lead. Ricky Ray looking for John Childs, who has the catch. And it'll be taken down by the newcomer, Antoine Pruneau, number 4 pick in the draft. And a 6-yard pickup for John Childs.
One of the reasons it is 5-1 is because that's a nice first down pickup by the Toronto Argonauts offensively. In the first half, they were generating almost 9 yards on first down. You get 9 yards on first down, that defensive line isn't going to pass rush any longer on second.
There goes the top team, 2nd down conversions coming into the night. 2nd down here out of the backfield. It's Bradwell with the catch and a first down. So Mike Bradwell, the McMaster product in his 6th year, has his first grab of the night.
Every time I go and do a game that Ricky Ray is the quarterback, I'll go to the opposition's. I'll go to the defensive coordinator for the opposition and say, how do you defend Ricky Ray? What's your thought? If you play too much zone, he will be patient all the way along the field. If you blitz him, he'll hit that deep ball. Mark Nelson said, yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword against him.
Send one extra man. The pass is intercepted off the fingertip, and it's Brandon Thompson with the catch. First interception tossed by Ricky Ray on the season. And a long string without a pick comes to an end.
Well, and Mark Nelson's answer to the question was, you know, sometimes you just got to get a little bit lucky. Be in the right place at the right time. Stay true to your defense and what you do well, and maybe you get a tip, maybe you get a shot, maybe you get a chance to get them in the backfield. You disrupt them enough, and you might make a play or two, and those may be enough plays to win the football game. We'll see.
That off the fingertips of the middle linebacker, Travis Brown. 2nd turnover, 2nd half for the Argos. And a string of 214 straight passes for Ray without an interception comes to an end. And there's Garrett Johnson and Henry Burris not on the same page.
Meanwhile, the Red Blacks are just, they're slinging it on first down. And that first quarter, a lot of steady diet of Siobhan Walker. Just haven't seen that since then, from the 2nd quarter on. Now they find themselves in 2nd and long again, and that means that Tristan Apalago is going to get another chance to get the one-on-one on Jarrell McCullough. Here's your offensive coordinator, Mike Gibson.
McCullough That left tackle in place of Nate Minkin this week. Trying to shore it up. Burris throws. He's got a completion. They have a first down. Catch is made by Dobson Collins. Collins with his first catch of the night.
Yeah, timing throw. Wasn't a target in the first half. I think Dobson Collins maybe had one ball thrown in his direction, but that's a big one. Timing throw in that curl, picks up first down. Jarrell McCullough is getting his first CFL action at left tackle. North Carolina State.
He used to protect Russell Wilson there. Was in the Montreal camp. Here's Burris, slant, complete. And it's 2 in a row to Collins, who was shut out last week against his old team, the Eskimos.
Color held up his end, and he gets Dobson Collins now. A little bit of a groove for Collins on that easy slant inside. Nice low throw so Collins can protect himself from the hit.
Redblacks had only 4 points off 2 turnovers in Winnipeg in that game. Trying to put points on the board after the interception. First and 10, a pump. Hit as he delivered, and the ball sails out of bounds, but on the last completion by Henry Burris, the odometer clicks over 52,000 yards.
Next on the list, Danny McManus. As long as he stays healthy, he'll get there.
And then into the top 3.
Yeah, one of only 5 quarterbacks over 50,000 yards passing.
I think he's got 27,000 more in him to catch AC. If he's a 45-year-old quarterback, maybe.
That's a big number.
Yeah. Early movement here.
Talked about him and his place in history, and he said, you know, he just hasn't had the time to even think about it, absorb it. He's focused on the next opponent.
Procedure. Ottawa number 50, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
There's McCullough moving early.
Yeah, and Jarrell McCullough's got to settle in. In fact, I asked him about McCullough, and in our conversation, he said, as long as I've talked to him about not giving up the inside spin move. If he just keeps his guy wide, I'll step up inside of him, and I'll make the play from there in the pocket. So he's hoping that McCullough can do that as he learns and finds his way here.
Haven't had a touchdown tonight. Ottawa hasn't had a second half touchdown. A punt over the middle. Pass complete and a big hit. Nothing wrong with it from DA. Dwight Anderson unloads on Siobhan Walker.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that hit. And Siobhan Walker knew it as well. Got up right away. But this is the difference here is that Siobhan Walker has a football in his hands.
Didn't see
offside. Toronto number 91, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
I was going to say, I did not see the flag, but it looked like an Argo had jumped the gun, and it is Apalago trying to get a split-second head start on McCullough.
I did see the movement as well. Didn't see a flag. But he clearly did. He clearly did jump offside.
No question. Argo's 9 penalties, 113 in the game. So it's second and 10. And pass is complete to Carter. Well, defense there, and we've got Brendan Smith cramping up after making the tackle.
Well, on those second downs and passing downs, Mike Gibson, the offensive coordinator's answer here may be to bring in some blocking help. That's Marcus Henry, who's often running routes, but he knows that Shane Horton's been blitzing, Jamie Robinson's been blitzing, so he brings in to get a little blocking help Marcus Henry.
So the corner, Brendan Smith, remains down, just trying to get the cramp out after making the tackle that will set up third down. And Maher checks in. Well, Milt wants sevens, and it's been a long wait tonight for anybody to break through. Looks like Maher has the responsibility of providing 3 after the interception. Smith is up and hobbling off. Field goal attempt will be from around the 32. Thomas DeMarco, the holder. Trying to make it a 5-point Ottawa lead. Sinkfield in the end zone. If Maher misses. And he doesn't. And Ottawa extends the lead. 12-7 here. Winning third quarter at TD Place Stadium. The Riders near the end. They weren't glory days, but the fans still came out to cheer the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this team, we talked about their struggles, and there were some great players on those teams. David Archer, one of them, and I've said that many times, but this city always had great fans, sometimes not great owners. David Archer certainly knew that back then.
Ricky Ray under pressure and dropped again. TJ Hill on the blitz gets home.
A big play by TJ Hill to get these fans back involved and get them up off on their feet and get behind this red-black defense. Now, I'll never forget that game with David Archer and how emotional the fans were. I saw fans crying. He walked way up into the stands and was hugging a lot of the fans. They knew that it was the end. Well, it's a new beginning. And that's a big play. TJ Hill.
Second sack of the game for the Redblacks. Second of the year for Hill. Second and 18. Ray delivers. There's Steve Slayton, who we haven't heard from since about midway through the first half. And he'll move the chains with a big play.
Oh, he ran a great route here. I mean, this was, it looked like it was going to be an out. And he breaks to the outside. He comes to the outside and then peels back in. He just sells this and back to the post. And is right there presenting a target. Little out fake and then right into the middle.
24 yards for Slayton, and now they'll hand it off to the West Virginia product to midfield and nudging into red-black territory. 3 catches, 59 for Slayton, and 5 on that run on first down. 1,282 yards, 9 touchdowns in his rookie season with the Houston Texans. Second and 5. Sinkfield on the waggle. Ray steps up. Flag on the play, and I believe it's Sinkfield who was a step ahead of the snap. Ray running for what would have been an Argo first down.
Well, TJ Hill agrees with you. He's signaling that this is against the Argos. Hill, of course, is a captain.
Offside. Toronto number 85. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, they call it Childs, but it is 83.
Childs. Yeah, Childs is.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, hang on. That wasn't me.
Scott Milanovich is a salesman, and his selling point to Sinkfield prior to the game is you're replacing Chad Owens, you're bigger, you're faster. Well, he's got those 2 things, but not the experience and certainly the waggle of Chad Owens. And faster. And a throw, and there's Sinkfield.
There it is.
Atoning for the mistake. And a big catch in front of Jarrell Gavins to move the chains.
Yeah, I'll give him faster. Or excuse me, bigger. I'm not sure I'll give him faster.
Well, there's the 419.
But if that's legit 419, it doesn't get faster than that. He just adjusts here nicely. He sees his quarterback scrambling in a little bit of a trouble, and he just makes a little adjustment, breaks his route off, and is right there.
And that's the final play of the third quarter. Argos with the football, and they're moving it, but they trail by 5 here in the home opener of the Ottawa Redblacks.
Okay, that happens sometimes. I think the difference here right now is that those 2 turnovers didn't turn into points for the Red Blacks. Just 3 points off the turnovers. If that's a 14-point swing and they are punching it in, obviously we have a very different ball game. As it stands, the Argos on the road in this huge environment and this atmosphere that was created for this home opener. They got to like where they're at.
I mentioned that they have had some success, but the 2 turnovers, the fumble, the interception have stalled this in the third quarter. Now we've got to play under review as the Red Blacks are challenging that Ricky Ray was across the line of scrimmage on that last completion to Terrell Sinkfield. So we'll see if this drive will continue or not.
Well, my thought here to get that offense going again would be a little more of number 20, Steve Slayton. He's looked good. Now, trying to get his game legs underneath him, meaning that he's trying to get his wind. And remember, he's coming off a hamstring injury, but take a look at, see that last play, and the challenge was Ricky Ray over the line of scrimmage, which is the 51-yard line, or just short of it.
Short of the 51. Well, let's have a look. So we'll back it up and see where the ball is delivered.
Well, if you go here, well, let me try that again.
I think he's okay, and that's a great sense of where he is on the field.
There's the 51.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The quarterback was still behind the line of scrimmage. First down, Toronto.
A guy like Ricky Ray, Matt Dunnigan, Henry Burris, amazing how they have that extra sense of exactly where they are on the field.
And how much time they have.
It's been tough sledding tonight, though. Mentioned 29th game under Scott Milanovich. Only once has he been under 60%. He is tonight. Flag down. Ray over the middle. Catch is made. Spencer Watt working against Seth Williams.
We could see what this penalty is. Looks like it was the umpire who threw the penalty flag.
There is no infraction on the play. Toronto number 52 had checked in prior to the snap of the football.
Okay, ruling on whether Wayne Smith, who had lined up at tight end, was eligible.
But he had checked in, so he was good to go. Didn't check in with the umpire. The umpire just called it as he saw it. Play stands.
The Argos are marching, threatening. Ball on the Ottawa 20-yard line. First and 10. And Ray going to take a shot. Got Darvin Adams open. Touchdown. And there is the first touchdown at TD Place. And it goes to Toronto.
Well, Darvin Adams runs to the spot. Ricky Ray puts it there. I love the strategy from Scott Milanovich in the second half or into this fourth quarter to go with tight ends. He's going to get some more protection for Ray. And when he gets that extra protection, he knows that he can make this throw. Everybody knows he can make this throw.
Yeah, he's got a copyright on that one. So Darvin Adams has his first Canadian Football League touchdown. Favorite target of Cam Newton at Auburn has his third catch of the night. And Ricky Ray got it going again. He went 4 for 4 on the drive, and he caps it with a 20-yard toss into the corner of the end zone to put the Argos on top into the lead.
Boy, the subtleties from that Argo offense.
7 plays, 75 yards. Broke downfield. And Siobhan Walker on the return. And James Jurachuk stops him in his tracks at the 28.
Let me show you some of the subtleties in the Argos offensive attack. Scott Milanovic does so well. Darvin Adams there starts as a number 2 receiver on this play. And then when at the snap of the ball, stop it again, he becomes the number 3 receiver. When that happens, he gets inside leverage on Javon Johnson right here because of that subtle little change motion where he goes from the number 2 receiver to the number 3 receiver. He's got that outside corner leverage and the ball's thrown perfectly.
Redblacks to work, 4 receivers to the near side, the handoff far side, and good first down production. Walker still on his feet, into the open field, and Jalil Carter will bring it down on the Argos side of half. 29 for number 29.
And they kind of forgot about him. I mean, he was important in the first quarter. I mean, Siobhan Walker's got that breakaway speed, so if you give him a seam, he can hit that seam and turn it into a big play. But he's also got the second effort desire, and that just refuses to go down. He should have been held there to about a 6-7 yard gain, but wouldn't be denied. Picked up big yardage.
Now more yards rushing this season than all of last year as the backup in Hamilton. Flag down, and did they get the play off in time?
Siobhan Walker so far has 8 carries for 44 yards.
Procedure. Ottawa number 53, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's the left guard, Matt Albright.
2 catches for 8 yards for Siobhan Walker. Now, based on the chemistry that they're working on with the receiving corps, I would think Rick Campbell would want to get him the football double that. Well, that's 10 touches. We're almost through this game. We're deep into we're getting into the second half of this fourth quarter. We'll get up around 20, 25.
Might slow down that rush, too. Here they come again. Downfield, pass is high. Out of the reach of Carlton Mitchell, back into the game after taking that hellacious hit from Dwight Anderson in the first half.
And the one thing that allowed Henry Burris to even throw that was the block here by Siobhan Walker beside him right here. And it's Shane Horton, who's been coming hard all game long. He picks him up there, takes him on, gives a lane for Henry Burris to step up into, and he just missed his target.
Second and 15. As Burris tries to extend this possession to the flat corner, steps past Jalil Carter, but there's Shane Horton. There is a flag down, and I think the Redblacks were offside.
Well short.
Offside. Ottawa 88. That penalty's declined. Third down.
Was Mitchell, who jumped the gun and seen the receivers ahead of the snap on a few occasions tonight. Punt team comes on, and
Chris, that's the byproduct of the blitz from the Argos. I mean, when your quarterback's running out of time, the receivers get antsy. They want to get down the field quicker.
That's an interesting punt formation here. Took a step and then off the side of his foot, and that doesn't get the desired result. In fact, there'll be a flag as it sailed out of bounds beyond the 20. In fact, out of bounds at the 30. That's Thomas DeMarco who kicked the ball. We saw them show this in Winnipeg, and there was a penalty.
Illegal kick out of bounds. Ottawa number 17, 10-yard penalties enforced from where the ball went out of bounds, and a first down for Toronto.
Well, this we did see them. We did see DeMarco kicking it.
Well, poor execution on that play, and it cost them field position. 8 a.m. Eastern, 4 a.m. Pacific on TSN.
I don't mind that formation and call by Rick Campbell. I think a quicker decision had to be made by Thomas DeMarco, who doesn't line up in a punting formation very often.
A net of 10s of the Argos, who could have been pinned, start at the 42. Curtis Steele not going anywhere. As Javon Johnson stepped up, there's Keith Shulligan on the tackle.
I'm sure people are second-guessing that. Red Black fans are saying, well, why do you do that in that scenario? I think they lined up, and if Toronto doesn't cover down on the receivers out there, then DeMarco's got to see that and just kick it. Don't run out here. You're not a punter anyway. Just go ahead and line up and kick it as deep and as far as you can. He's got a big leg, but he tried to do both.
Was a punter in college, but boy, he has the big meal ticket now. Darvin Adams, a catch and a first down as he gets in sync with Ricky Ray here in the second half, and a catch near midfield.
Well, it doesn't take long. It takes a few completions. It takes, a quarter, 2 quarters. You get into that third and fourth quarter, you're playing with a guy. And remember, Darvin Adams has been in this lineup this year, so they're starting to get on that same page. He catches that nice corner, and no surprise at all, Ricky Ray goes right back to him.
Talking about Ray's percentage, suddenly 5 consecutive completions and back at that magic 60%. Under pressure, he gets nailed. Big hit there. Off the edge. It's Brandon Lang, the former Eskimo.
Brandon Lang was coming from the backside, and Ricky Ray did not see him. He's at the bottom of your picture. Coming around the corner, Ray tries to spin out of the front side because he's caught there too and runs right into a wall.
Yikes. Chris McCoy at one end flushes him right in to the other end, and it's a loss of 9 or 7 as they mark it. More trouble. Look out. Got it away, threw it away to avoid another sack by Lang.
Key series. This is a key series. Talked about it out of the break, that the Red Blacks have been leading at halftime in their first 2 games, and we're leading at halftime here. Rick Campbell, all week long during the work week, talked about his team finishing. Well, this is a key sequence on the road to finishing.
14 second half points on the year for the Red Blacks. Javon Johnson has a little trouble with it down there around the 10 and gets it across the 15-yard line. So it's a long field for Henry Burris. Red Blacks down by 2 here in the fourth quarter at TD Place Stadium.
For Henry Burris.
95 yards away from making it a memorable homecoming night. Looking down the sidelines, and there's Jalil Carter again. Carter making the move to the corner on the short side of the field for Scott Milanovich and Tim Burke tonight, and he's been proud of.
Well, Jalil Carter has got so much more confidence this year than he had last year. He was in good position last year and just didn't finish plays off. That time he does, and they want to move Dwight Anderson into that short side halfback spot, so Dwight Anderson stays away from penalties. He'll be pretty good back there.
2nd and 10. Underneath, dropped out, big first down. Siobhan Walker stopped by Jermaine Gabriel, but he does get the 25 and moves the chains.
29 left, 29 right, 29 up the middle.
I hear you.
He gets this on his own. Argo linebackers closing quickly. Makes a nice move here on Shea Emery, or he's held short, and the Red Blacks are punting.
He's been their best weapon. 1st and 10. Slant drop. Dobson Collins can't hang on, and would have been close to another first down.
Blitz pickup, read perfectly. Collins went to the right spot. Henry Burris saw it. It was Jamie Robinson. You don't see him now, but he's coming from the right of your screen. They pick it up. They see the blitz. It's got to be a quick throw. Can't block that guy. Collins makes that catch. It's a 2nd and 1 situation, or he may even get the first.
Second and 10. Four receivers near side. Robinson again. Underneath it goes. Kier Johnson will scoop for a first down. 15 for Johnson. Back-to-back first downs to dig themselves out of a hole.
Talk about guys that can run. Kier Johnson can pick them up and put them down. You have to be able to start here and end up where he ends up. Follow Kier Johnson, number 10. Little slide motion there all the way across the hash marks. Gets there and then turns the other hash mark, turns the corner. First down yard.
Fourth catch, 46 yards, but that big drop in the first half when he was in behind coverage. Now it's the big fullback, John Delahunt, the Ottawa native. And Delahunt has his first catch on home turf.
Oh, think he's pumped. Just got the crowd pumped too.
6'2", 240.
Oh, the big man's just rumbling. I think he's put on a few.
Yeah.
Since his time in Hamilton. Used as a fullback more there and as a tight end. They put him in the bunch formation, but he comes over to the Red Blacks and he's even bigger. It looks like he could go from tight end to tackle if he had to. Well, second effort gets an extra 5.
One area they were strong. They drafted Delahunt and Lavoie, a couple of experienced fullbacks. 23 for Delahunt. And now Walker will trust the right side. Nothing. Well, he broke a tackle. He's still loose. And he got something when it looked like there was nothing.
3 guys had a crack at him. 3 Argos. Shea Emery was the first. Shea Emery shot the gap, and he was the problem initially for Siobhan Walker, but it was the second effort. Remember, his second down play is the reason that this drive continued and is now threatening. But how about that? 3 broken tackles.
Playbook's a lot different when you're looking at 2nd and 5 than 2nd and 9 or 10. Walker was 69 yards on 10 touches in the game. Trying to keep it going. Look in for Johnson and Dwight Anderson on the scene with a big collision. And it will force 3rd down. And now Rick Campbell has a decision, and he doesn't wait long as the field goal unit comes on.
Looking at about a 47-yarder. With 7 yards from where the ball is placed on the line of scrimmage to the tee.
Maher has hit from 45. Brendan Smith making his way into the end zone in case. Trying to kick him back in the lead again. And brings it in. Puts it through. Started on their 15. They move it into Maher range and get the lead back.
Puts the pressure on Ricky Ray and the Argo offense. The hold by Thomas DeMarco. Bang on, laces away, little tilt towards him. And Maher nails it. No mistake. That's a tough one. Inside snap like that, too, for Thomas DeMarco.
Little shades of Jerry Organ there. And although we haven't had many points, that's the 5th lead change of the night. And now the defense is revved up as they stack up Steve Slayton.
Second half, Ricky Ray in key situations has gone to Darvin Adams, the Auburn product. Now, he will be patient and check down if Ottawa decides to drop into his zone defense. And he'll put it in the hands of his running back, Steve Slayton, see if he can pick it up on his own, much like Siobhan Walker did on that second down to start the Red Blacks drive.
Fans in full throttle here. Ray pulls it down. And Runchie close to a first down. Well, the unlikely runner has done it again. Ricky Ray managing to at least get a measurement here, and they're going to bring out the chains for what, if not a first down, is inches short. He picks his spots, and that was one that was critical to this game for the Argos.
And the second effort, and I guarantee you the defense coordinator, Mark Nelson, for Ottawa, is not going to spy Ricky Ray and take a player up just in case he runs. I mean, he's run more in the first part of this season than I think I've seen him in 3 seasons, but key runs at key times.
4 carries, 24 yards for Ricky Ray on the night, and a chain link short of a first down on that last one.
Against running quarterbacks, they start to take off a little bit more, and again, you spy them, but Mark Nelson's not going to do that. Not going to take up a player doing that.
Mixed deal in, short yardage team, and although not much, he didn't need much. That front fired up. Connor Williams thought there might have been a stop, but again, they only needed a chain link or 2, and the sticks are moving.
Crowd didn't like that one, but that was forward progress, and spot was made correctly. You mentioned only needed an inch or 2. This crowd hasn't had any rust on it. When to cheer, when not to, right back in it. Here they go.
In full voice now with under 4 minutes to go. Argo double tight end. To Slayton. And out of the backfield, it's Alexander Dupuis, the rookie fullback. So if the Red Blacks can use a fullback for a big play, the Argos will too.
You know, you take a look at Dupuis here. He's in at tight end, and I mentioned earlier this was an adjustment for the Argos, and it looks like he's going to block. Watch how he goes to block and then releases from that tight end spot. Just a little piece, a chip block, and then out to the flat and is open.
Final play before the 3-minute warning. Argos have marched it to the Ottawa 51. Here comes the heat. Ray stands in and incomplete. Intended for Sinkfield.
Boy, he threaded the needle, though.
He did. Doesn't get the catch when we come back. 2nd and 10 Toronto.
Catch with Jeremiah Masoli starting at QB in place of the injured Zach Caleros, who used to back up Ricky Ray. We could have a big finish coming up in Ottawa. Back to Chris and Glenn.
Yeah, getting interesting, Rod. Since the interception, Ricky Ray, 6 of 8 for 111. Now looking at 2nd and 10. And here comes the heat. Eric Fraser, safety blitz. Pass is caught. And John Childs with the catch and a first down, and Ray gets helped up after taking a big hit.
Veteran saw the blitz and presented a target. John Childs, he gets to the spot that Ray's going to throw it to. The blitz comes here from Eric Fraser, the free safety. He's going to get hit from the top. But because that pressure comes through the middle like that Ray has to throw it to the spot. And when he just hoped that Childs can get there, and he does.
Big Chris McCoy with the boom, but Argos get a first set of downs. Toss to Slayton. Breaks the first tackle. And is dropped at the 35-yard line. Jasper Simmons, who was released after a couple of years in Toronto, with the tackle. You got 2 minutes to go. You're in field goal range, and obviously still thinking 7.
Oh, yeah.
How much
keep
time?
Possession of the ball for 2 minutes, game over.
Just take as much as you can off the clock. And
yeah, because you're in field goal range. But don't get too conservative. You need one more first down.
2nd and 5. Ray, corner route, got Childs, and incomplete. John Childs is in position, and that's the patented Ricky Ray corner that they don't connect with.
John Childs, he's running this corner route and is wide open on 2nd and 5. Key part of this game. Ray says, I'll take my shot deep. Looked like Childs just faded away from that throw. Rather than continue towards the sideline, he faded away from it towards the middle.
So Swayze Waters comes on. 2 out to take the lead. And somebody moved. And who's this on? One way or the other, this is a big penalty.
Illegal procedure. Toronto number 90. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So they move back 5, but the field goal team stays on.
And the pressure mounts for Swayze Waters. The absolute last thing a kicker wants is an extra 5 yards.
Devon Johnson awaits if he misses. Waters is hit from 51, so it's in his range. And it's up, and it's good. Money from Swayze Waters. Ready to spare. And the 6th lead change of the night puts the Argos back on top.
Now 5 extra yards, no problem for Waters.
And I asked you just during our last break, if the Argos score a field goal, do you take the kickoff or put it at the 35? Rick Campbell's going to put it at the 35.
Yeah, I think you put your offense on the field. You've got a veteran quarterback in Henry Burrs. Some adventures on the return game for Ottawa throughout this evening. So stay away from any type of fumble possibility in the special teams. And Swayze Waters got a big leg. He can pin you deep. So this is, I believe, the right decision. Put in the hands of your veteran quarterback.
Last drive for the Red Blacks, their best of the second half. See if they can keep the momentum going. Catch is made out in the flat by Walker. Brought down quickly by Brendan Smith, just 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. But we're in 3 down territory with a minute 26 on the clock.
Dialing it up. Defense coordinator for the Argos.
2nd and 5. Walker inside. Good run. 1st down. Subtle cut back to move the chains. A lot of number 1 jerseys in the crowd. I think there'll be a lot of 29 jerseys too. 57 on the ground, 23 receiving.
An injured Argo, that's why
Brendan Smith might be cramping again.
Yeah. And this will allow Henry Burris to not only call the current play on 1st down, but he can likely call 2 plays. Get 2 formations ready.
And it will require an adjustment in that Argos secondary, as the corner Smith has to come out of the game. So does Shane Horton move back into the secondary? Looks like it might be the case. Nick Williams is in as another linebacker.
Well, and does Burris go right after the change?
Not sure if this is the same issue, but he did cramp up in the 3rd quarter.
Minute 16. Burris has time to basically run his offense, looking for field goal range, obviously. Maher made one from the 47. So Mike Gibson has time to run his offense, continue to use Siobhan Walker's been his best player offensively.
Clutch field goals by both Maher and Waters to exchange the lead. And Smith to the sidelines. Looks like
sorry, Chris, the Red Blacks have to block up Shane Horton.
Vince Agnew will go out to the corner to replace Brendan Smith. He started the game against Saskatchewan on the corner. Burris being chased by Horton, and one hops that. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I think he did it on purpose. Saw Agnew sitting there on that curl route, and they did try and go right after the change. Brendan Smith goes off the field and Burris rolls to that side. They did block up Shane Horton. Siobhan Walker took care of that. That got Burris out on the edge, but he one-hopped it because he saw Agnew in pretty good position. They got a block 27.
Williams, a linebacker, goes to the sidelines. Logan Harrell checks back in. 4-man front. And Horton looking like he'll blitz. 2nd and 10. Gonna take a shot for Keir Johnson. He's got it! A contested catch against Jalil Carter. And they're in field goal range.
Dropped one in the first quarter. That one's bigger.
And a tougher catch.
Much tougher.
And now they just have to run out the clock and put it on the toe of Maher. Inside handoff, not very far. 6 catch, 92 yards for Keir Johnson.
Timeout, Toronto.
Toronto stop the clock here.
Rick Campbell's talked all week about finish.
Well, this is their opportunity now. Burris, clock won't start till the snap. Burris will likely get it into the middle of the field.
Well, do you play conservative? Double tight ends. And they do hand it off. Walker bounces it outside. And he'll get run out. Anderson cut him off at the 15 when it looked like he might have first down yardage.
I know that's what he was looking at, but he didn't need to run out of bounds there. There might not be enough time for the Argos anyway.
But that does help Toronto's cause.
That's right.
Stops the clock, and they can't run 20 seconds down or 18 or 19 to chew up most of the time. Maher for the lead and a perfect night. And what could be a perfect ending. 28 seconds away, and a scramble for the football in the end zone. What a souvenir that might be.
28 seconds is 3 plays. Got Mladenovic getting his offense out. Maher nails it.
Well, maybe the field goal that wins the first game in franchise history, and the head coach doesn't flinch.
Well, he won't flinch till 28 seconds come off the clock.
18-17, 7 lead changes. Does Ricky Rice play the penalty? Underneath, Anthony Cruz up at the 50, trying to get out of bounds. Won't do it.
Can't get out of bounds. They have to hurry, but there's lots of time.
Eric Fraser in on the tackle, 16-yard gain for the youngster.
Based on the leg strength of Swayze Waters, Rainey's 15 yards. He's got 2, maybe 3 plays if he hurries.
Right over the middle. John Childs couldn't make the catch in what would have been Swayze Waters' field goal range.
Steve Slayton picked up the pressure. It was a blitz from Eric Fraser. Ray recognized it. He had John Childs, and Childs, it's a tough one, got his hands all backwards and dropped it.
Second and 10, 11 seconds to go. Brief conversation with Steve
she answers if you're Ricky Ray. He's trying to get the call right now. Pressure on Ray here. He indicated he thought it might have been a high hit as he threw the football with the left arm.
Chris McCoy with the straight arm.
They let that one go. They haven't this year.
Would have been 67 yards for Waters. They're going to leave the offense on the field. One last catch. And the lead. Intercepted. Game over. Jasper Simmons. And the homecoming is victorious in Ottawa. Capital. Jasper Simmons, released by the Argonauts in Toronto's camp for a couple of years, puts the finishing touches on an 18-17 hard-fought Red-Blacks victory.
The owner said when they first talked about this franchise back in 2007, they said, you know, it's going to cost a little bit of money, it's going to take a little bit of time, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I tell you what, it took a lot of time, a lot of money, and this is a ton of fun.
The wait is over.